This video is sponsored by Squarespace. McLaren dropped their 2024 F1 livery completely out of nowhere. They've dropped the blue, fully embraced the papaya, but today I'm not only going to give my opinion on the livery, but also do my own version. Just like I do every year. This is my favourite time of the year video-wise. Let's talk about it. McLaren, you cheeky little so-and-sos. We've had a while to take in the livery, give it a good look. You know what? Broadly speaking, I think it's an improvement. Is it because I went to McLaren last year and did a redesign and suggested they drop the blue?
Where's the blue?
Yeah, I dropped the blue.
Okay. What was your rationale on that?
In my personal opinion, I prefer it without the blue. Just having that stark contrast of the papaya and the black, which obviously would be carbon, to save weight. That's what I like. And now they've dropped the blue. Who knows? I hate to say I told you so, but I did. And I think it's better for it. We don't see any other cars on the grid embracing papaya orange, whatever you want to call it. So McLaren have exclusivity. They might as well fully embrace it. The blue as a highlight didn't really add anything for me, even on the merchandise as well. I think just dropping that, going all out papaya. It's clear, concise in the branding, and I'd argue it makes the livery pop even more. There does appear to be more colour on this car compared to last year. My understanding is that the weight thing is less of a problem for teams now, because obviously as these regulations go on, the teams get better at optimising the weight of their parts so that the paint isn't so much of a big thing. If anything, some teams are starting to add ballast now. And compositionally, you can definitely see the inspiration they took from their Triple Crown livery that they put out last year. And it is very Marlboro-esque, those kind of angled cuts through the car. You switch up the colours and look, it is literally a regen of the old McLaren. Realistically, with more sponsors, you have less flexibility with the design. This is where the design starts. You start with the logos because the brands want to be like, I want to be this big on the car. I don't want to be next to that brand necessarily, but maybe put me next to that brand. I don't mind, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's an advertising board first and foremost. And McLaren, we know they've got sponsors coming out of their ears, so it was always going to be a simple base. A fiddly base is only going to take away legibility from these sponsor brands on this car. The numbers look sick, by the way, as well, in chrome and all. That's a lovely little touch, something really subtle that I saw a lot of people picking up online talking about. Once again, it gets people talking about chrome, which is not a title sponsor on this car, but it's a significant one. There are so many different examples in which having your own beautiful online home, a website you can call your own, is incredibly handy, right? Be that an online store, physical store, say you got like a restaurant or something. Maybe you want somewhere to host a blog, or maybe there's a portfolio you want to show your work off to the world. Look, Squarespace has been a long-term supporter of what I do here. When I was a graphic designer, that's where I hosted my portfolio, and I think you should use them too. Thousands of beautiful drag and drop templates and completely free to try. It's only when you want to publish a site that you have to pay anything. So when that time, because I know it will, inevitably comes around, head to squarespace.com/TOMMO'F1 to get 10% off your very first website or domain. I can't really identify a criticism. I mean, there's a couple of brands like DeWalt in the yellow. I kind of wish that was white. Obviously, that's a sponsor thing and their brand color is yellow. I get it. And also the DP World. Fortunately, it's not too legible, but that logo is backed in like this dark navy, which is their brand color, which obviously goes completely against the rest of the McLaren. However, it's subtle enough that from a distance, it's only up close you can really see that. I do think the papaya on the halo coming down to the kind of top of the nose, they had that last year, and I think that's a little bit fiddly, but that's about the total of my criticism, to be honest. I think I'm going to give this a score out of 10. I think it's a strong 8. It's a strong 8 for me, but let me know in the comments down below your rating out of 10. It's good, but I'm not necessarily better, but I think I could do something different. See, with the Triple Crown livery, you had the papaya, you had the black, and you had the white. And for my redesign, I think it's very important to keep all the sponsors in the same place, because that is the challenge the real livery designers have. There's very little flexibility typically in logo sponsor placement. So I've designed in Assetto Corsa using the RaceSimStudio 2023 F1 car model. Link in the description down below for that if you want to give it a go yourself. Here's what I've come up with. So what do you think? For me, is it an improvement? I probably like this about the same. This feels to me, adding the white, it feels almost a bit more like an IndyCar to me. I can't think of a specific livery off the top of my head, but it's given me that kind of American vibe. Let's start with the wheel covers, because what I've done is expanded it and made it a bit thinner. Part of my gripe with the McLaren wheel covers, the chrome wheel covers, is that they're too small. I think expanding it and then making the hole bigger, I think it just proportionally works better with the full car. Fundamentally, a lot of the design elements are quite similar. The OKX on the side is now blocked out on Papaya, but then the rear kind of Papaya cut with Dell Technologies and Cadence is kind of the same as the real car. The rear wing from front angle is same, but I've incorporated the white onto the side. You know, white is ultimately going to help with sponsor legibility. Most of the logos on the real McLaren was kind of a bit of an even split, isn't it, between logos being on carbon or on Papaya, but the more contrast typically, the better. Front wing, I think it's a really good addition on the real car to add a bunch of Papaya onto the front wing. That front camera angle, we see that a lot in F1, so I've done that here as well. I've pretty much kept the front wing actually almost entirely the same. Obviously this model has different restrictions, but then I've brought the white down the nose just to give, because otherwise it would just be Papaya from front on, and I knew I definitely wanted some block white colour from this front perspective. But compositionally it's identical to the real thing. For DP World, I've got rid of the navy, they're going on white, which gives them good legibility from the side profile. It's a nice in-between, you know? And then the Richard Mille fits nicely between the white and then the Papaya on the top of the nose. And also, say, the halo, I think it's a bit fiddly, the way it just kind of comes down the front. So I have blocked out Papaya on the halo, but most of it is carbon. Again, there's a lot of aero restrictions around where you want to be wrapping the car and where you don't want to be wrapping the car. I think that's enough Papaya for me. And yeah, bang side on, the chrome has obviously changed from white text on black to black text on white. The Velo, I've put that on white as well. DeWalt's come back to all white. And yeah, like compositionally, I like this. I did actually start with the OKX on the Papaya. I knew I wanted that first, and then I knew I wanted that to be offset to the back kind of angle. And then I added the white and I was like, you know what, actually, yeah, that works really well. So a lot of these liveries, I look back at like a year later and I'm like, ugh. But right now, I'm actually really happy with this. I think this would be a cool little special edition. Fundamentally, it's not a massive break from what they've already done. But obviously the restrictions that having that many sponsors put on the creativity, I guess, of the livery, that's the thing. And I mean, clearly OKX don't mind being on Papaya, because on the real thing, they're on Papaya on the real wing. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is 1 of 10 complete. I'm kind of glad McLaren dropped this early, because it's given me a bit of time just to work myself in before you're getting everyone launching. You know, there'll be about 15 car launches in one day. Don't worry, the videos will be coming thick and fast in Feb for all the car launches. I'm very, very excited. Drop a like if you enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and buy a t-shirt from TOMMO'S Racing Goods. I would show you a t-shirt, but both of mine are in the wash, because I get plenty of wear out of them. So there you go. My name's Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.